There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With even more exclusive content, with over 150 channels in your vehicle, including the widest, deepest variety of music, ad-free. Root for your team. Get news. Listen to whatever makes you laugh. And hear all about your favorite stars. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels filled with music and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video. Thousands of hours of shows and performances on demand. What you love is on now.
Now, Viper is without question one of the most iconic and recognized names within the remote starter and telematics business. And today we're going to dive deep because the team at Viper has a whole new outlook, a new team with them for Canada, and a new plan going into the remote starter season this 2022. This is CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM, Viper, and it starts now. What's going on, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to another CMA Connected presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and as we continue down the path that is remote starters and telematics, we have landed on one of the most iconic brands in the industry. Of course, we're talking about Viper from Directed. Yes, Viper, that brand with those, I know you remember those animated snake commercials back in the 80s. I grew up on those. I love it still. Today, we've got a lot of news to share with you. A lot of dealers have had a lot of questions. There's been some shift, some movement, some evolution. And we're going to get all the details for you so you know how to best plan your upcoming remote starter season with Viper. So without further ado, we have the two men with the task of directing this brand and steering the ship. First, we have the Vice President of Sales for Viper and Vox Electronics, Mr. Al Fontane, along with the Vice President of Vehicle Security at Vox Electronics, Mr. Joe Dentamaro. Al, Joe, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Ben?
Exciting times. Remote starter season is knocking.
Oh, Ben just froze.
Tell us about the crazy year that we have had. I mean, the last time we talked about remote start was a year ago. It was a little bit of a different, weird time and place. For some of us, it felt like we were living on Mars. Lots has changed. So, Joe, I'm going to go to you first. Talk to us a little bit about what's different, what's happening now compared to where we were a year ago in this remote starter space.
Sure, absolutely, Ben. I mean, this is the exciting time of the year for me, for us, for the company. A little later this year in September, we usually get crazy in July and August, but some of coming out of last year, which was unique for all the companies, mobile audio companies, certainly security remote start companies with chip shortages and component delays. It was a difficult time, and when we met last year and we're discussing things, we've had certainly some improvements. Vox had stepped up, and we didn't want to be in that same position, so we went out and acquired a bunch of inventory and chips and components with our factories before the season started, and started bringing that inventory in earlier this year than we ever have in the past. We usually schedule all of our shipments in throughout the season, but we wanted to be as prepared as we could for this year. So we made that investment and stepped up production. So inventory is flowing. I wouldn't say it's better. I wouldn't say we're 100% out of the woods yet. You can still see it in a lot of industries with car supply and things like that. Still have some component issues, but we're doing our best to get out in front of that early, so we don't have to deal with allocations and being out of inventory like we dealt with last year.
I may have selective hearing, Joe, but I heard better, so I'll take that. I'll take that as a positive
Definitely
note.
better.
Now, Al, inventory, Joe touched on it. It's better than last year. From a planning perspective, do dealers need to make any drastic decisions, or are we somewhat good for inventory over the next few months?
I think we're really good at, I think our position right now for inventory is really good right now, Ben. Joe came at it kind of a different way. I'm sales, right? So I do believe that we're in a really good position, unlike years past, right? And not just last year, but the prior year too, when Vox bought DEI, the Vox team, we all scrambled to be able to buy product to be able to get it in. So our Canadian customers have, suffered a couple of years because of it, though, too. But I'm happy to say that we have a lot of product in Lachine right now. Just need orders from our customers so we can fill them, right? So.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so the orders is what we plan to get, especially after we unveil some news, give some people some clarity on the movement and the new structure. And on that note, I know that we have a special guest a little bit later on that we're going to be talking about. So basically, this is a two-part show. First, let me ask you, Al, what is the overview of the presentation that we're going to have today?
Okay, the overview is we're going to talk about the platforms, right? We have still, once again, analog is still very important to us. You're going to be able to see it in our presentation, though, too. Analog is not going away. There's still plenty of people that love it. So we still have it. And the other is our digital platform. We have great offering from our digital platform to include, huge offering of T-harnesses for our customers also. But the good thing is we have both, right? So we can do analog for the customers that still like analog, and we can do digital for the folks that have already transitioned. And our customers in Canada actually transitioned a lot quicker than our customers in the US did to digital. So, but we have both offerings covered.
I'm going to pat ourselves on the back for being progressive.
That's right. Ahead of the game.
Now, Joe, the other part of the show, we have a special guest coming on, Danny Prezzo from Gemsen. We're definitely going to be talking about that. I think folks want to know. Can you give us some insight of what we're going to discuss about that?
Yeah, for sure, Ben. So, Al mentioned a little bit earlier about the last couple of years and Canada specifically. And when we acquired DEI, we knew we had to put some energy and some resource into Canada. It's a very important market for us. But when we were looking at the business last year, it was difficult just to supply product. So, Gemsen is our rep for Canada. We announced it earlier this year. I have a very, very long relationship with Gemsen going back decades when they were my code alarm rep back in the early 90s. So we've had a long relationship with Gemsen. They're a great rep firm. They touch a lot of the 12-volt specialists out there with the brands that they offer. So it was a natural fit for us. And, we worked with them over a year before we made the announcement, just planning, preparing, getting our strategies all set and everything. We could have announced it a lot earlier, but again, with the inventory situation that we were dealing with last year, it wasn't the right time. So February, I believe it was February of this year, we made the announcement. Yeah. Been very happy to have Mike O'Connor, the team at Gemsen, of course, Danny Prezzo, who everybody knows with Fontane, went to go work for Gemsen, is heading up that side of the business for them. So it's a great team. We're very, very excited and proud to have them representing Vox, not just the directed brands. They'll also be representing all of the Vox brands in Canada. So we're really looking forward to some growth and a lot of other plans that we have in store coming up, not only for product, but for sales. The whole team at Vox over the last year was just, especially the engineering team that we have, was just focused purely on updating chips and getting replacement components for all the shortages. So now that that's mostly in the rearview mirror for us, we can get back to doing what we really like, and that's innovating and developing new product. And not a lot of the new stuff we can't get into today, but over the winter, going into the SEMA show and to CES for 23, you'll start seeing a lot of announcements of a lot of cool stuff that we're doing on the security and remote start side. Still an extremely, extremely important category for Vox, and we'll get into some of that as we go through it. But very proud to have Gemsen representing us for Canada.
And to be clear, guys, we will have Danny on a little bit after the presentation. We're going to go into the details, the breakout, the plan, and the distribution plan. So we're going to go through all that. Don't you go away. For the meantime, let's get Al and Joe set up for their presentation. We're going to bring up the presentation, and I'll leave you gentlemen be. We'll get through that, and then I'll come back, and we'll continue part 2 of the show from there. Here we go.
Great.
All right.
So we'll let Al will handle most of this. I'll just do my usual chiming in and upset the presentation as we go through it. But Al, why don't you start everybody out?
Yep. All right. And as I mentioned earlier, our analog offering, we have over 15 different analog systems available for all your customers' needs. We have analog security, we have analog remote start, and we have analog remote start and security. So also, as Ben mentioned, the folks from Gemsen, if you want to know more about our complete lineup, please reach out to your representative from Gemsen. Their contact information will be in this presentation, as well as you'll be able to speak to Danny Prezo also. Okay, I also mentioned our digital offering. The DS4 is still around, doing a great job with us. A lot of our Canadian customers have already transitioned, like I said, to the DS4 platform. It's an actual remote start, it's security, and it is the interface all-in-one system.
So, Al, before you go to the next slide here on this one, I just want to assure everybody, you know, the digital platform for us at Vox Directed, very, very important platform for us. The future of remote start. You know, like I said, the engineering team is hard at work. We both in new product development for the DS platform, but also in firmware coverage and T-harness applications. We just hired a new applications technician here in my facility in Michigan that will work with the team in Lachine for validating new T-harness applications. We have, over the last couple of months, have engineers and firmware developers from Montreal and from our Michigan facility flying all over the country validating new vehicles. So you'll see over the next couple of months and the last couple of months, new T-harness applications that we launched and a plethora of new firmware applications being updated on a monthly basis. So again, very, very important category and the future of remote start for us.
Yeah. Okay, and speaking of the digital remote start systems that we have here, regarding the DS4, we have the DS4V and we have the DS4VP. The difference between the two is the DS4V works primarily on low current vehicles, and the DS4VP is for high current vehicles primarily, or vehicles that require additional relays. The good part about this, though, too, is in this box, you get both your low current and your high current harnesses are included in the box. Also, both these systems have Bluetooth radio on board. We have an app called DirectLink that allows you to go ahead and program the units with basically right from your phone. So let's say a customer came in and needed to change some settings. You don't even need to pull the car in the bay. You can go right out front, pair your phone to the DS4 system, and go ahead and make the appropriate changes, and go ahead and send the customer down the road with what they need. We also have numerous T-harnesses available for both these systems. The good part about the T-harnesses too is the fact that a lot of us right now are challenged with finding experienced installers. So I hear it all the time from our customers, and with these T-harnesses, it's a much less evasive install, and it's a very speedy install too at the same time. Okay, we also have some security add-ons for the DS4 platform. We have the 8504D, which is your impact sensor. It's a digital tilt sensor, and it's your temp sensor all in that one little box right up top. So we also have the DS4SU. This system here is the same as the 8504D, but it does include a siren. So in case you wanted to add an additional siren, instead of using horn honk out, you can go ahead and use the DS4SU. We also have the DS4WS, which is our Bluetooth siren offering. Same exact components as the 8504D, meaning there's an impact sensor, there's the temp sensor, and there's a digital tilt sensor all in one. But the beauty of this device is that it has both inputs and outputs that you can use. Like, let's say you didn't want to run a TAC wire. You can go ahead and get the TAC signal, or sorry, hook up the TAC wire through this device. Let's say you want to turn on some lights, for instance, like a lot of the trucks have those big light bars out in front. You can go ahead and use one of the outputs to do that too. So, and also it has a programmable voice in there too for the siren. And like I was talking about the T-harnesses, we have a huge offering of T-harnesses that are available. I mentioned earlier about the THH-YN5 being a new harness that we just released. This harness works with both the Hyundai 2 firmware as well as the Hyundai 4 firmware, and it also works with the Kia 7 and Kia 9 firmwares. So primarily it covers vehicles from 2011 to 2020. And once again, like I was talking about, it makes for a much quicker install, which makes you much more money. I have some dealers that have told me that, hey, if we can't use a T-harness on this install, we're not going to do the install. That's how much time they save using it. And with the DS4 platforms, we also have numerous RF kits that are available, all to suit your customers' needs. We have everything from a one-button, one-way to a a one-button two-way that's over 1 mile range. We have a four-button one-way. We have 5-button one-way, and we have a 5-button LED two-way, as well as a 5-button LCD two-way, all over 1 mile range. And we also have our Smart Start. Smart Start's been around for a long time with us now too, and we have a lot of customers that use it. One thing we did add to the Smart Start recently was our 60-day free service trial. Included in that is the GPS service, so that way the customer can test drive the GPS offering to see if that's something that they might want to like going forward. And the one thing that I always make sure that I share with everybody is with our Smart Start system, it includes Roadside Assistance as part of the plan too. So if you think about it, you know, anybody that would have like AAA or whatever, it's normally about $90 in the US for a AAA service. You know, your plan would pretty much just cover that.
Special for Canada.
Yeah, special for Canada. Here it is. We actually have a unit called the DSM 550FR. In the past, this unit was just available in one province, and that's the only place we sold it. Everybody else had to buy the regular Viper Smart Start. So we've decided to offer this across all of Canada. The beauty of it is there's no annual service fee. Okay, that's the good part about it. Now, if by chance you would want to opt in for the GPS and roadside assistance, there's a one-time $100 fee to opt into the GPS and roadside assistance service plan. So great piece. We were selling a lot of these just in the one province we were doing it. So now we expect during this remote start season to sell a lot of these all across Canada. Okay, as we're getting ready to enter into remote start season where we know everybody's slammed, I wanted to update everybody on our tech support hours and ways to get tech support. So phone number has been that same phone number for well over 20 years. Tech support is offered Monday through Friday currently from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. During remote start season, starting on October 8th, we will be offering Saturday service from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. We also have our Direct Text website, which all of you pretty much use. And one feature that I like to call out within the Direct Text website is the fact that there's a chat feature available in there. If you just have a quick question, you don't need to call in for tech support, and you just need your quick question answered, you can type in and chat with our techs that normally handle anywhere from 4 to 6 chats at a time. So the other thing that I really like to promote is our Snake Pit Facebook forum. That's pretty much open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We have over 6,300 members on our Snake Pit forum, and everybody's there trying to help out. I know there's a lot of Canadian technicians that are on there, and they're very helpful. They answer questions, and help out everybody. And once again, you're stuck on a Sunday, let's say, doing an install, hit up the Facebook forum and get your questions answered there real quick.
Yeah, it's a great community. All the forums that we do at Vox, whether it's the directed one, the Vox Tech forum, the Omega forum, it's an incredible community of installers, technicians, shop owners, salespeople. I'm just, some people get on their soapbox and use it as a forum just to have some fun. But the real questions and watching all the dealers from around the country respond and answer and guide people. It's just it feels real good looking at that and seeing all of that community there. So
yeah, great network, like you said, right, Joe?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a great
absolutely.
network. Yep. All right. So we mentioned earlier about us partnering with Jemson as our sales reps for Canada. The good thing about Jemson is that they have a lot of feet on the street. So they have their reps out there going out calling on all the customers, which definitely helps us out. Danny mentioned, Danny told us that getting out on the street again and get in front of customers is key, and it's very important. So we're happy to have them on board. Their contact information is on the screen currently, and please feel free to reach out, and they'll be more than happy to help you out. And Ben mentioned earlier about realignment of our Canadian distribution network. We still have our great distribution partners. As you can see, there's a list of them on the left side of the screen. We have 12 Volt, we have Importel, formerly B&B, we have Carity, we have Dix, we have Grand West, Paul Gagnon, Sobel, T-Bear, and Jemson. So what we've done, we broke out West and East, and we put the brands that they're authorized for each territory by distributor. And Danny will get into that a little bit more when he joins us online. Okay, and Ben, that is our presentation.
So if you don't mind, Al, obviously that previous sheet is something that people are going to be very interested in. If you don't mind backing up one slide for me.
Yep.
And I'm going to ask actually our director to put that full screen, if you could, please, Sheldon. This is something that people might want to just screen capture real quick. So if I look at this correctly, guys, I mean, this is the plan moving forward. Obviously, the first question I had for you is, what does the distribution for Viper look like? But if you look at this chart, I think the answer is pretty clear on that one. And I just wanted to give everybody an opportunity to take a look at that, take it in, and make the decisions that they need to make moving forward based on that plan.
Yeah, and I can clarify that a little bit more for you, Ben.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you could. Yep.
On that. So, like I said, the last couple of years we've been planning. The last year, we went out and went up to Canada, met with all the distributors, explained our plan and our direction. And we are committed to make Viper a direct-to-dealer line through Vox, through Directed and Vox in Canada. When we hired Jemson as our rep for the country, they'll also obviously be a stocking rep for the Viper product for fill-in and that. And while we work through the issues of setting all of that up for Canada, one of the big challenges that we're working through right now may seem pretty simple, but we're having some difficulties working through it with credit card acceptance in Canada for Canadian funds. So that's one of the things that we're still working through right now internally at Vox, but that's coming along. But again, this was done to give each one of the distributors throughout the country a brand that they could use and sell for their territories. And again, focus on Viper as a direct-to-dealer brand for us for the country. And with Jemson being the rep, keeping that distribution clean. That was one of the big issues that that we dealt with dealers after we acquired Directed was cleaning up distribution of all the brands and all the lines, not only in Canada, but in the US as well. So that's what we did with this. Now, with the addition of the security brands, obviously this show is about Viper, but we have AutoStart, AstroStart, Python, Avita, all the brands that we have. We also started filling in our Canadian warehouse in Lachine with our ADAS product as well on the Vox side. So we're slowly bringing more Vox product up into the country and expanding our foothold there.
Okay, very good. Thank you for the clarity on that, Joe. All right, let's put away the presentation. At this time, I think it's the right time. We're about to dive into this part of the conversation. We want to talk about GemSend. We want to give an opportunity for dealers to understand, who to call, how does it work, and all this stuff. And we're gonna sort that all out for you right here. So let's go ahead and bring in our guest. He's the business development manager for GemSend. We've had him on before, of course, Mr. Danny Prezzo. Danny, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ben. Nice to be here. I'm glad to be working with the Vox Directed team. It's an exciting position. It's kind of like my dream job, I have to say.
Well, there you go. You've made it. You've made it, Danny. So we're talking about Viper and Al. We're talking about the goal is to centralize Viper to be a directed dealer thing. I want to give you an opportunity to kind of expand on that plan now that we have Danny there, can comment on that as well.
Yeah, it's basically following the same model we have in the US, right? Where Viper is pretty much dealer direct. That's what it is. We have our reps that go out and call on Viper customers, and it's a dealer direct business, and it works. So we changed. It was a big change, but we felt that we wanted to mirror what we do in the U.S. and Canada. And our partners worked with us. I mean, there were some tough conversations, but our partners were willing to move forward with us. And it's the plan. It's the best plan for the brand. We feel it's our golden egg, basically. We want to make sure that we protect it instead of it having going just anywhere. And we will actually own where it goes versus just somebody taking the sale and putting it wherever. That's the whole thing.
And I can understand. That's like your golden child or golden egg, however you want to call it. You want to make sure that it's nurtured properly, I think is the best way to put it.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, enter GemSend. Obviously, here at CMA, we do a lot of business with GemSend as well. They're a huge distributor, premium brands across the board, especially in audio. Danny, Viper is a big undertaking, right? You knew this going in. I just want to hear your sentiments about that when you heard the news of this is what was unfolding.
Yeah, I mean, initially Viper, as Joe said earlier, it was going to and planned to be a direct to dealer brand. And then with the issues that Joe mentioned earlier, then we obviously had to become a stocking rep. But I'm really pleased to say that, in the past, Directed was managed in a different way. And since Vox acquired them, I think there's been a lot of improvements. And just obviously by GemSend becoming the rep agency for Vox and DEI, we have feet across the country on the ground, knocking on dealers' doors, and I constantly train and update the sales team on anything new and answer any questions and take care of everything for the team. So. And I have to say, it's been pretty smooth. There was a little bit of hiccups at the beginning, but working with Al and Joe and the Vox team in the US, I mean, they really, really support us fantastically. So I'm very excited about this upcoming season, and all the negativity and all the product issues and inventory level issues are behind us. And thank you very much, Joe, for sending me that inventory report, because, wow, we got a lot.
There's a lot of inventory for you to sell.
I don't think we're going to run out this time. So you can confidently know that the inventory is in the barn, both in Lachine and also at GemSend. So don't hesitate to order and move forward.
All right, Joe, I'm going to lean on you on this. The question I get a lot is, since that announcement, like you referred to back in February, can you help us understand, if I asked you, what is GemSend's role when it comes to Vox now in Canada?
Absolutely. It's again, like I said, a long relationship that I've had personally with GemSend and representatives, in my mind, reps for a brand. I think they do a fantastic job, and they have with all the brands that they carry. If you look at the brands that Gemsen has in the lineup that they have, these are long-term, long-lasting brands that they've represented. So that has to mean something, right? That there has to be a reason. JL, they've been the JL rep forever. Kicker, and why that is. And we talk all the time, and that's really, at the end of the day, what we wanted to get for not just Canada, to be frank with you, but for all our dealers everywhere that we have, is great representation. You want somebody to be there that's willing to help you no matter what. And while we handle everything, from pricing and warranty and all that stuff through our company, through Vox, Gemsen is there to handle those questions, to guide them through, all the issues that come up, whether they're, a technical issue that comes up in the middle of the night. That's the kind of team Gemsen has. It's, whatever it takes to service the customer. And that's really what attracted us to select Gemsen to rep us for Canada. And again, I'm a big believer, to a fault. I've gone out of my way to make a dealer happy. That saying, the customer is always right. Some people would argue with me about that, but I'm a big believer in the customer is always right, even if they're wrong sometimes. And I think Gemsen has that same mentality that, it may cost me a little bit more now to take care of the problem, but I'm going to earn that respect and relationship from the dealer by going forward with that. So philosophy seemed to fit well for us. So, I'm getting a little off your question, but specifically what they do, processing orders, helping dealers through the warranty process, coming up with a part that they may have in stock. So, all the support that a dealer would need.
Okay, excellent. Al, I'm going to lean on you on some sales questions. I'm a dealer. Maybe I was a past dealer. Maybe I'm a new dealer. I'm interested. What is the process I should take as a Canadian dealer now to get Viper product in my store?
Okay, what they would do is reach out to Gemsen. And Danny, you have the contact information, right? It's that you could share with everybody. But yes, reach out to Gemsen. Go ahead and start the application process. And then from there, the rep, the local rep there will make sure that they're all set up correctly with the products that they want.
All right. So they don't need to.
Gemsen, and most everybody probably knows Danny.
They are already doing business with what I found
Canadian.
Out.
Are you saying you probably know Danny Prezzo? That's not a lie. This is true. This is true.
Yeah, and it's funny because in talking to some of the folks that were interested in coming on, the minute I would tell them that that our rep now is Gemsen, and they're like, oh, okay, I'm already doing business with them.
We already do business with them.
Yeah, I'm good. And they like the process. They like being able to do business with them direct. They're used to it, so. Yep.
Okay. Are there any changes? I'm going to stick with Al on this one. Are there any changes as far as the process for warranty claims, service or replacement parts, or anything like that from a Canadian perspective?
No, because like if somebody buys something for their distributor, let's say one of our distributor partners that you saw on the chart, they still send it back to the distributor, right? And the distributor will send it back to us for warranty processing, right? Same as if they buy it from Gemsen, they would send it back to Gemsen, and then from there, Gemsen would send it to us. So for warranty processing, but there's no changes. It's still the same as it's always been.
I would say that's good news. People like that for sure.
Our facility in Lachine. Yep. We process the majority of shipments out of Lachine, warranty claims, all of that stuff. Again, through the distributor and the distributor for us. We have no plans on, moving out of that location. So
excellent.
Well, can I make a quick point here? I'll be honest. Since I started working with the Vox DEI team at Gemsen, I have had no warranty issues whatsoever since January. So, I mean, I'll be honest. I think the product is rock solid, and there's not really a lot of returns or claims or problems. So that's a real positive thing. But that's kind of been the way for quite a few years with with the DS4 and the DS4 Plus platforms.
Very good. So I'm going to circle back to 2021 version or 2021 version of Joe Done Tomorrow. Doom and gloom and shipping and air freight, and now I have to absorb costs. Well, you remember this conversation, Joe? Ben, you wouldn't believe about air shipping. It used to cost me $4,000. It cost me $16,000 to bring this, but that's okay. We absorb these costs, so on and so forth. So why I'm bringing this up? I want to talk about pricing increases or changes. How has Viper handled that? What should we expect from a pricing standpoint? Either one, Al, Joe, whoever wants to take that.
Well, I'll start it out. You know, we that was another area that we cleaned up pricing and programs in Canada when we went through everything. We did implement to everybody in July, I believe it was, a 2% fuel surcharge that we added to the product. Now, the fuel surcharge encompasses a lot of things. It's not only the freight cost from our warehouse to customers, but incoming shipments, trans-shipments throughout the United States, issues with shipments from overseas. While we're not air freighting as much as we did a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, the gas prices and freight charges have gone up, and we had to implement that. Now, I'll tell you, we could have done it two different ways. We could have just gone ahead and did a price increase and across the board price increase and just raised the price. But Aaron Demers, our boss, the guy who runs this group, you know, we discussed this for over a month on a regular basis of how we wanted to implement that. We chose to do it as a line item increase. So when you look at one of our price sheets, you'll see the price, and then you'll see a column next to that says 2% transportation surcharge. We did that so it's easily to pull off, right? So as soon as those costs are coming in line, all we have to do is pull the transportation surcharge out of the price sheet and get back to normal. And, you know, we have seen the price of fuel in the U.S., certainly for gasoline coming down, but diesel is still remaining very high. The UPS, FedEx rates, the ocean rates, all of that stuff still remains high. So, you know, again, we never, and I know, you know, people probably will call me a liar about that. We haven't looked at any of the price increases that we've done over the last 2 or 3 years as a profit center. Aaron has been very adamant about that, of passing just the costs along, not looking at it as an opportunity to gouge and raise pricing. So, you know, our plan is to continue to do that, and, you know, hopefully not have to do any more of it, and start reducing some of it. And again, at a 30,000 foot view, we're seeing the prices come down a little bit. So I would expect some positive changes in the near future in pricing.
All right, very well. Honestly, 2% for fuel, like, it's gone up 100%. So for 2%, I mean, you have no right to complain. That's my opinion, personal. Yeah. Danny, you're in the role. You're out there talking to dealers, like Al had mentioned. Your team, boots on the ground. You're knocking on doors. What's it been like? What do you forecast with this new plan? Just give us a little bit of feedback of where this is going.
Well, I just came off an airplane late last week from a little quick trip out west to meet with some distributors. And I'll tell you, it's been probably 3, maybe even 4 years since I've done a presentation besides doing something CMA like this or a Zoom call. And I'll tell you, the interaction and the communication back and forth is just fantastic. You know, the distributors are all excited about the upcoming season, and they're even more excited that we're having inventory in the barn. And, you know, because last year, a lot of them were really struggling, and they were buying from places that they usually didn't buy inventory. So this year, it's super positive. I'm sure I know Joe and Al have been working super hard to make sure that the inventory is available for us here in Canada. And I just think we're going to have a superb season. a lot of people are going back to work now, and stop working at home. So the remote starter industry is definitely on the up and up, because once a week starting your car is not as important as when you have to start it every day. So I still believe the remote start is not a luxury. It's kind of a must, especially when you live in the really cold climates like northern Alberta or even Quebec and Ontario. It's just so cold here. So, moving forward, any of the brands that are above my head here, if you guys have any interest in any of the brands or any questions or concerns, you can reach out to me through sales@jemson.com, and any emails regarding any of the directed or Vox brands will come directly to me afterwards, and then I'll communicate with everybody directly. And like I said earlier, there's really not been any major problems, the odd little install error here or there. But all in all, it's just been a great experience from day one.
Amazing. And we'll be sure to put up the website and everything towards the end of the show. But on that note, Danny, I want to thank you for taking the time to come in here. Congratulations on the new role. And everybody should be happy to be dealing with Jemson and Danny when it comes to all things Vox in Canada.
I hope so. Thanks a lot, guys.
Sure, Danny. All right, let's close the show out. We'll bring Al and Joe back to kind of finalize everything that we discussed. And I did want to touch on one thing. I want to kind of circle back something. I might have missed it. Viper has got great analog and digital solutions. Now, if you remember a year ago, digital solutions were kind of scarce. So we kind of pivoted a little bit and like, oh my God, analog, super important. Thank God we have analog. Thank God we didn't bench that. It's still there. So update, where are we now as far as the mindset of technicians and shops? Let's go to Joe when it comes to analog versus digital for 2022.
Yeah, so again, and Al mentioned it earlier in the presentation, analog is still a big business for us. Canada, globally, it's still a big business for us. Canada has always been a strong digital market and continues to do that, and that's great. And, we've always had the mindset at Vox of not forcing anything down one of our dealers' throats, giving them what they want. So as long as there's demand there, we'll keep doing it. We had some products that we felt there would be a demand for and decided to bring them back, and there wasn't a demand for them. So, we're not adverse to trying to give dealers the products that they want to move forward. As inventory goes from digital or analog, yes, it's better, right? Certainly better. I don't want to, give the impression that, we've got 1 million units just sitting there waiting for people to start ordering. It's still remote start season. We're coming off a very challenging year last year with inventory. We looked at it and said, let's bring this in earlier so we're prepared for it. So the inventory is starting to come in. But over the summer, we have certainly seen dealers and distributors being a little cautious, right? And with the way the economy is, and not being hugely overstocked with inventory, but not really loading up a lot where we would typically get those load-ins in July and August. Certainly for Canada, the season starts a little bit sooner. People are still being a little cautious. My only, recommendation for them would be, close your door in your office as a dealer, sit down, look at your business last year, look at the Farmer's Almanac. They're calling for a very, very cold winter this year. I look at it every year, and look at your business. One thing with, that you could count on, like you count on taxes, is that it's going to be winter, right? There's going to be a winter.
Winter is always coming.
There's always a winter. So that's my only advice to dealers is don't get caught short. Again, I know gas prices are up, the economy is all messy and everything going on right now. Just don't get caught short when you have the opportunity to have a great season this year.
Now, Al, I think Joe alluded to it. I think Danny alluded to it. Inventory in Canada is healthy, but don't like Joe said, don't pretend like we have 1 million units in stock ready to go. So what's your advice that you can layer to what Joe said to close out the show?
what most dealers are starting to do already, especially the larger distributors in Canada, they're forecasting out. We actually worked with them to get their forecast for the season, and they were very helpful with us. It helps Joe and I as we're doing buying, with our buying team. And, it helps us on our planning too. So, definitely encourage everybody to make sure that they did give us those forecasts, which, I'm pretty positive everybody did. But now hold on to those forecasts too. We let them move if need be, like they can move from one month to the other month and bring it in. But I've been very happy with the take rate of the folks that did take the time to forecast. They are bringing that product in. So that's the big thing. Just make sure, like Joe said, that you have the product on the shelves. So that first frost, you know how it is. The first day you get frost on there, right?
Bum rushed.
Right?
Bum rushed.
Yep.
Phone just goes off the hook. Everybody's looking forward to that, by the way. That's a good thing.
Yep. And like Joe shared too, it's one of those things, people, I think they're waiting to that last minute, right? For that cold weather to hit before they bring it in. But
can I share with you what I think it is? I think people will be looking at the gas price saying, oh, do I really want to start my car and burn that extra gas? But then the moment you wake up to that cold morning, us Northerners all know what that feels like. All that price, that goes out the window. Comfort first. Right. And that's what we're banking on. So if you want more information on everything we discussed as concerning Viper, you're going to want to go to their official website. It is viper.com. And as you heard throughout the show, with Danny Prezzo coming on, if you're in Canada and you're a dealer, you want to visit gemsend.com, as they're the new stocking rep, whatever Joe called it, representation for Vox in Canada. Gemsend. Guys, that was a good one. Thanks for the updates. And I guess I'll see you guys tonight on live as well.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Thanks for the time. Yeah, thanks for the time, Ben.
Take care. All right. Obviously, want to remind you to keep it locked here on CMA Networks right through till September 16th as we are focused on the remote start and telematics sessions. We've got a different brand highlighted each and every day. Tune in at noon for our one-on-one session. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about our crazy contest we've got going on. We've partnered up with, you got it, Master Tech Expo going down in Mesa, Arizona next spring. Win an all-inclusive trip. One winner from Canada, one winner from the US in partnership with 5-Axis Innovations and SiriusXM. All you got to do is head over to CMA Networks/giveaway and sign up the form, and you could be the lucky winner. And while you're there, make sure you check out all the great videos we have, especially the ones we have with Vox Electronics. Check out their playlist on CMAnetworks.com. Thanks for tuning in to this CMA Connected presented by SiriusXM. Thanks to Joe and Al and Danny for showing up. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
Stop it. Yo, roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to SiriusXM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on SiriusXM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?